Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing whether I think flies are better or presses are better for strength, muscle growth, and so on. Which chest movement should you focus more on? Alright, so let's start with the press. I've got to be honest, I think most of you sitting at home anyway definitely probably prefer pressing. Everyone loves a bench press, everyone loves a dumbbell press, and I think most people think of like flies and stuff as just add-ons to your pressing movements, where it's like, as long as you got your pressing done, you're good, and if you got time for flies, then you can hit it, but it's not necessary. So overall though, if you are doing a lot more pressing, I think that pressing movements are definitely better for progressive overload, because it's a more compoundy. You're not just going to be engaging your chest, you're engaging your triceps and some front delts as well. Whereas a fly movement is kind of taking the triceps out and focusing a lot more on the chest. Still engaging the front delt a little bit, but even less than an actual press. So you're definitely going to be able to lift more weight and move more load with a press, and a lot of you guys anyway can probably find that much easier to progressively overload because you can do that much more weight. The downside of pressing though is a lot of people ego lift on it and tend to get injured a lot. Let's be honest, we've all been injured at some point if you're an advanced level trainer doing a pressing movement. Let's be real. Whether it's bench press, dumbbell press, all the freaking time. Now in comparison, how many times do you see people injured from doing a fly? I'm sure it happens, but it doesn't happen that often. You got people like the Tren twins and stuff benching like 600 pounds and then they tear their pec. I mean, yeah, a lot of other people anyway, they like to go for maximum loads when they're doing pressing movements, and you never see someone go for a 1 rep max on a fly, because that's just stupid. Come on, who's freaking doing that? So by definition, it's gonna be a lot safer. You're probably doing higher reps, and we know from research that any rep range or rep ranges within like 4 to 30, I want to say, are equally good for building muscle as long as you push that set to failure. However, though, if your goal is purely on strength, then presses are going to be your best movement for that, because like I said before, you never see someone doing a 1 rep max on flies. It's just stupid. It's not something that people do. Whereas a bench press or whatever, everyone 1 rep maxes on the bench press. Well, except for me, I've done it like twice in my whole life, and if you're wondering, the most I've ever done is 185 with a pause. I know, pretty low number, but hey, I only weigh like 138 pounds right now, so it's not too bad in relative to my body weight. But yeah, if your goal is not just hypertrophy, but also getting a lot stronger, I definitely think that you should bias most of your training or whatever to pressing movements, because it's a compound lift. But now moving on to some benefits for the flies, is flies allow you to isolate the chest a lot better than presses. So let's say you're doing a dumbbell press or whatever, and you got weak triceps or whatever, that may compromise how much weight you can actually lift because your triceps are giving out before your chest. But if you do a fly, you can isolate your chest a lot better and really stretch back and then squeeze. And that's another thing I find anyway, I can get a lot more stretch on my chest doing a fly movement rather than a press. Now, I know that's not the case for everyone. I do think I have extreme ROM anyway when I do flies and when I do presses. I mean, if you've seen my other videos where I do the incline cambered bar press, a lot of you in the comments were freaking blown away by how freaking deep I can go. And on my flies, I feel like I can get even deeper. And I don't know about you, flies get my chest super, super sore as well. Overall, though, if I had to bet my life on it, which movement would build more muscle? If you had two people, identical twins, trained for 10 years, if I had to bet my life on it, I'm going to say the press. And why is that? Well, like I said before, it's a compound movement, so you're not just building muscle in your chest, whereas, the fly, it's isolating the chest because, with a press, you're engaging the triceps, the front delts as well. So you're going to build muscle in other areas too. So if I had to bet, I definitely think a press is going to build more muscle and build more strength than a fly. But if your chest is like a weak point for you, and maybe your triceps are fatigued or whatnot, and you got really strong, good triceps, but your chest sucks, then I think flies make a ton of sense, and you should probably be prioritizing that because it isolates the pec and takes the triceps pretty much, well, it does because you're not bending your elbow is in a fixed position, so it takes the triceps out of the movement. But you know what? You know what the best of both worlds are? It's to do both. They both have benefits and they both have flaws. So why not combine the two and get the best of both worlds? But that's going to have to wrap up this video, guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you prefer, presses or flies? Me, I'm saying if I could only do one for the rest of my life to grow my chest, it would be a press. But I do think flies make a ton of sense, and I think you should definitely be including on your chest day one pressing movement and one fly movement just to get maximum development on those pecs. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.